Yeah, so good morning. This is Pilates Jews and Resistance Band. There is a YouTube video available as well. Let's make a start. Let's take a breath in. Breathing out. Shoulders are up. Take a breath in. I will adjust the camera angle. Breathing out. Shoulders are up. And relaxed. Sound effects. Debbie, if you could mute yourself, that'd be lovely. And relax, just take another one, take a breath in. If your shoulders are sore, just have to lift to shoulder height, shoulders up, and back down. Let's do the opposite direction. Liz, I will send out that thing about your son, the charity for your son. That is on my list of things to do, so I didn't forget this week. I just couldn't quite fit it in. I'm just thinking about doing a separate email for it. I might just do a separate email for it on its own. Take a breath in and breathing out. Let's make that last one. Take a breath in and breathe out. Good. So we can just lift up one arm at a time. Arm floats. Imagine you've got a balloon lifting your arm. How lovely is that? And what are the shoulder blades? Back and down. That's another one for the list, Helen. I'm just going to change the angle. So we're just lifting up one arm at a time. I've got a hole punch. Helen very kindly sent me a link to say, so I quite like the iPad actually. I could get used to it. So now I've got you leaning against the TV. There we go. On top of 2 biscuit tins. That's very professional, isn't it? It's just kind of firmly balanced there. You can't get one or the other. You can't have both. Keep doing that. So what are you doing Pilates today? Well, we just lifted our arms 100 times while Lynn joined us without her setup. We'll get there in a minute. I think it's probably the best. I think we've started back to start position. Opposite arm, rotate around. Shoulder height if your shoulders are sore. Cross over. Arms round the outside. Should we do that again? Because that was such fun. Take a breath in. Breathing out. Arms round. That's it. And cross over. Spent far more time on that than I should have done. We're going to be here till 1:30 at this rate, aren't we? Take a breath in. And breathing out. Good. Take a breath in. Draw the elbows down into your waist. Draw down on the shoulder blades at the back, using the lats. Arms are by your side. So think about how you're standing. Lengthen through the spine. Lift the crown of the head towards the ceiling. Shoulders up, back, and down. Chin's nodded. Ears in line with the shoulders. Make the triangle with your hand. Heel of your hands on your hips. Fingers on the pubic bone. And then I'll show you from the side. Bend the knees and tilt the pelvis very gently. So if your back is sore, everything's going to be level 1. But this is quite nice, just that mobilization of the back, get things moving, get the synovial joints flowing, synovial fluid flowing. Come back to point where you are in that vertical plane and straighten out the legs. Breathe in. As you breathe out, draw your navel away from your hand, pulling up on the pelvic floor, bracing your upper abdominals, your natural corset. Release halfway. And then again, halfway again. So you've just got a small amount underneath your pelvic floor. You've got the actual corset here, which is part of the core. If you could mute yourselves, good morning. Lovely to see you, Julie. And the diaphragm forms the top of that core. Think of it like as a can of beans. If there's any weakness here in the abdominals at the front, if there's any weakness in the pelvic floor, those can of beans will want to come out. That doesn't sound nice, does it? So that's your, just hold a bit of tension there. So you've got a beautiful, perfect posture to maintain for the rest of your life. Have your hands on the shoulders, elbows are back, and rotate. If that's too much, have your hands on your chest. So people with sore backs, you're just going to do everything within your range, and you're not going to push it too much. Ideally, hips facing forward. See, that's just joined Caroline and Julie. Lovely. Good. So some people have been playing with the names on their Zoom, which has been quite good fun. I won't tell you what some of them were. And then come back towards the middle. Well done. So rotation is good for the back. We want to keep our spines moving and we need that rotation is good. Side bends. So people with sore backs, just keep your hands by the side and just ignore me for the next couple of minutes. Keeping the legs straight. So don't even think about doing any other levels. So just be patient. It might be a bit boring. Lift one arm if your shoulders are okay with that. So that adds extra weight. Take a breath in. There's one lady came to class who had an ongoing back issue, and just by doing that with one arm, that extra weight of that arm caused her back to go into spasm. So it's interesting. Things you think, oh, that's really innocuous. For her, that was too much. We can then add extra load to that again, always working through the levels. Stay at the level that suits you. Take a breath in. Breathe out and come back towards the middle. Good. Circle the shoulders and release. So it's good for our backs to bend sideways. Let's do some flexion. For people with sore backs, have your hands on your knees. Do you know, like when you're talking to young children and I'm sort of telling them off. No, if you're talking to young children, that kind of resting your hands on your knees, is that so round the back there. So that's going to be your option. Otherwise, we can do our roll down. We could just do a partial roll down. So Debbie, just experiment and see what suits you, what doesn't. If you want to be super, super careful, just do those cat stretches. Otherwise, we'll do a full roll down, but not if your back is sore or painful. So you can just do a partial roll down, rise up onto your toes, big stretch up towards the ceiling. How high can you reach? Close your eyes. Open your eyes, bend the knees, stretch the calf muscles there. Tucking the chin, bone by bone, just a partial roll down for some of you. Full roll down if your back is fine. But sometimes I get people, even with sore backs, they just absolutely love the roll down. So it's horses for courses. Big stretch up towards the ceiling. Close your eyes, hold your balance. Open your eyes, bend the knees. Should we just do one more? Nod. Roll down through. And then restack. Open out through the chest, rise up onto your toes, big stretch up towards the ceiling. Good. That's it, circle the shoulders. Let's do some balance work then. So keeping that rib hip connection, keeping that beautiful neutral spine that you've created just now. So you should have that distance between your ribs and the hips should be the same. If you were to tuck under, that gap would come smaller. If you were to arch that back, your fingers would come apart. But what we ideally want is that neutral spine, keeping that, lifting one knee at a time. That's it. So you only have to lift the legs a little bit if you want to. Close your eyes, hold your balance. So you want that nervous system to be switched on. Open your eyes, change at the side. You might be even better balanced this side. We try not to sink through the hips. Again, always trying to keep that stomach muscles braced there. Close your eyes. Can you hold your balance that side? So Debs, it might be just happy for you. Just keep doing that, what we've just been doing, so you can ignore me again. Anybody else with a sore back? Otherwise, we're going to lift that knee. Actually, this should be fine. This should be fine. If it's not, go back to the other one. If it's sacroiliac joint, I don't think it is in your case. Lift. That opening out through the hip. Yeah. So that might be the level that you stay at. Otherwise, we can lift and rotate, so a bit of hip mobility work there, but you're still keeping your headlights facing forward. So people with sore back stay at that level, so don't worry about doing the next one. But those of you that want more of a challenge, lift that knee as if you're over a hurdle or a stile, and then come back into your T shape. Bring that knee back over that stile. Hurdle step. Sounds a bit more athletic, doesn't it? I'm thinking countryside. Next time you climb over a stile, I want you to do this. See what people say. And then come back. But it's that knee over the top there that I'm looking for. Let's just do one more, because that felt so good. Yeah, lovely, Debs. That's nice. We can reach forward and back. Other side. it. Woo. Yeah, lovely. So just a bit of hip mobility, a little bit of balance. Let's work on arms. So let's work on biceps. So up to you whether you have your, if you've got the ones with the handles, up to you if you have the green or the purple. I'm just going to go for the light one today. I've got my own workout planned. So if you place your feet on the band, so Deb with a strap, I'll show you yours. So with the resistance band, find that center of gravity, do a quick sway, breathing out to lift and breathing in to return. So Deb, you're going to just hold it at that 90 degrees, the band, and just have that tension, and then you can relax. So you can bring it to that 90 degrees and Deb, hold it there, brace, brace, brace. Use the stomach muscles, that's engaging the core, and that shouldn't come into the back. If it does, don't pull so hard. So for everybody else, we're doing 20 bicep curls. With a strap, actually, you could experiment with that. So you could have it, say, at 45 degrees from your shoulders down. You could have here. You could try, well, I'll just try a bit higher here. When I'm doing my chin-ups, I find it's the first part is the hardest. And then so just experiment with that one. So you're just working the biceps and you're just holding that tension then, Deb, and everybody else is just going to keep that moving. When you've done your 20, wave at me. So bicep curl, lift the abdominals, lift the pelvic, brace the abdominals, lift the pelvic floor, lift your eyebrows. It all helps. That's it, Deb. So you can just hold that tension then, Deb, maybe for about 10 seconds, up to you. Brace, brace, brace. Just keep swaying every now and again there, Deb, just so you don't just get fixed in that one position. It might be that your back will start to go into arch without really realising it. Same for everybody. And when you, yeah, thank you, Hazel. Then holding that, so we're going to be like Deb's now. So now we can pulse it, ready, but Deb's just holding it level, ready, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and again, rest it if you need to. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest it there. Give me thumbs up, thumbs back, and down. What do we think of it so far? Great. What do we think of it so far? Great. Rubbish. So that's your biceps, and now we need to work triceps. So by the time we come out of lockdown, we're going to be super toned, and people say, wow, you look amazing. You'll say it's because I did Lynn Joyner's Pilates. Just to show you, I'm going to come to the screen. I've got the band, and I've got it across my thighs there. So again, you can do that with the strap then, Deb. I want to actually do a whole Pilates class with just a strap. I think it's really helpful. So tucking that tailbone in that neutral spine. So Deb, you're just going to hold that tension. Actually, you could hold the tension and relax thinking about it, but the shoulder blades are back. So for everybody else, it's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and again, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and pulse it. 10, 9, rest if you need to. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes. One of the nicest ways of working triceps, I think, because it just is the least intrusive on the shoulders and so on. For your stretch here, what I like is to have one leg behind the other and do a bit of a side bend at the same time. I think it feels gorgeous. If you don't think it's gorgeous, you can just say no, Lynn. Other side. Good. So we've worked the biceps and triceps. Let's go to legs. While the arms are recovering, we'll work the legs. So you've got your feet a bit wider than the hips, hinging forward from the hips. And then we can go into squat. So this is your safe lifting technique. Clench the buttocks. So this is safe liftings for the back actually. So if your back has been painful or sore, and the whole idea, keep that neutral spine. So for some of you, I've got really tight calves, so I can't go very deep. So some of you be happy to go into your deep squat. I can do it if I lift my heels and back up again. I can do it if I have my knees wide. So you decide how you want to do your squat. That is the most recommended way. And back up again. Lovely. So for people doing the kind of Pilates, the safe lifting technique, feet and knees in line with your ankles. We used to say that thy knees, thou shalt not go over thy toes, and they shouldn't go below 90 degrees, but now we're realising actually that's okay in developed world, developing countries, and toddlers, you'll see them do these deep squats. We've lost the ability. Down as low as you can. Well done. I've lost track. How many have we done? Enough. Stay at that 90 degrees. Let's pulse it. And rest as often as you need to. 10. Clench the buttocks. 9. We want the glutes to be strong. We need these legs to be strong. We want the core muscles to be strong to support the spine. Can you go in another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest it there. Good. So you should have felt that on the quads there. Well done. Caroline was shaking out her hands. I'm thinking, how come her hands have been? What's she been up to? That's your quad stretch there. How great if we had the rollers with us so we could roll the quads. Hold on to something if you need to. That's it. Knees together, tucking that tailbone under. Change of the side. I like that, Liz. That's a bit mean, isn't it? I was watching her wobble. It just made me smile, so I'm sorry about that, Liz. How rude. How rude. She doesn't mind. Let's go to back to arms again. So people like Hazel can sit on your chair if you wish. Otherwise, we can go on our knees. So Debs, maybe you can sit on your chair as well if you wish. So you can either sit on the chair, have them sit on the band or the strap. Otherwise, I'm going to go onto my knees. It's a good functional exercise, this one. So you can sit on your strap or your band, tucking that tailbone under, bring your arms to that surrender position, breathing out to lift, breathing in to return. So have your arms in the W position. So you're going to play with that position then, Deb. So you're going to push up to that height. That's it. If you can do it to full height, that'd be good. Have you just got the work? Is it only long enough to do one arm at a time? Can you do both together or not? Can you hold the band? Is it too short if you have it in both hands? Can you do 10 on the right for me and then 10 on the left? Because everybody knows what I'm like. I'll be, I won't be able to sleep. Yeah, good. Make sure the shoulder blades back and down, tucking your tailbone under. That's it. We're doing 20 altogether. I've completely lost track. Just start, yeah, up to you. That looks like it's that's a tough band there, Priscilla. Can you straighten out the arms anymore? Actually, it might not be Priscilla, that might be Caroline. Yes, Caroline. So you could sit down a bit more, Caroline. You sit back on your heels and do that one, so you're getting the full height. Yeah, I'm looking sideways. That's where the TV is. Oh, there's Priscilla. She's all in the dark, but she's got her arms straight. So that's okay. That's good. Yeah. When you're finished, have your hands behind your back and tilt the head from side to side. That's it. We'll let Debs finish. And turn your head from side to side. Just take away any stiffness that might have introduced. So now we've done a push-up. Now we need to do a pull. You've been coming to these classes for too long, haven't you? So with this one, so this is great for Debs because the band's tough. Doesn't really matter what she does with her band. It's all going to be harder. Ideally, what I'd like you to do is shoot your bow and arrow up towards the ceiling. I'm on my knees just so I can show you. So you can stand up and do this one. Debs, if you prefer to sit down for your back, you can. So holding both, I would take the heavier band, the thicker band. I'm holding it the purple, but I would use a green one if you've got it. Double up the TheraBand. That's too easy, Julie. I could see you rolling your eyes from here. The main action is the main action. It's that bringing the elbow down into waist. So make it really tight, make it short and pull down. If that's too much for the shoulders, change the angle to the angle that does suit you. I think you can make that harder, Caroline. Yeah, so you're just holding that strap then, Deb. You're just pulling it. So I would just pull it and then just still keep your grip the same and relax. Pull back. Quite like that idea. You can do that. Yeah. I shoot your arrows. That's too easy, Julie. Can you have your hands closer together? I love the cat in the picture then. Even so, that close it together. How's Priscilla doing in the dark? Yeah, she's fine. Stephen, that's too easy. Can you put your hands closer together? Sorry, I have to name and shame. When we're taught to teach, we're taught to kind of address the whole guys, and then you stand in front of the person. So I can't really do that. What I need is like a little thing in your ear, don't I? So I could whisper in your ear. When you've done 20 on one side, please do 20 on the other. Yeah, so Caroline, you're making your shoulders, the whole idea is draw the shoulder blades down. Try and draw it down. Sometimes it's the one holding the band, isn't it? But bring your hands closer together, Caroline. It's still too easy. Alan, both bands if you can. Can you hold both? How did you get away with that on the other side? You're going to tell me now you're going to be wonky, aren't you? Hands closer together though, Alan, even closer. Please, please. Oh, he's gone back to the one band now. That's too easy because it's that action. Alan, have a look. It's that action that I'm wanting. It's that action. So it's only a small, make it tight. Hold both bands if you can. Both ends, I should say. That's about it, but I think you can make that harder again, Mr. Marsh. Who else can I pick on? Yes, Debs. At least it's your shoulders and not your back. The whole idea of that one is pulling down on the lats, which pull down over the shoulder blades. But I think it's that one that's here. Circle the shoulders again, tilt the head. That's the one that you could put over the door and pull down, or we have had it where we've held each other's bands, lying down and done that one. We've done a pushing up, we've done a pulling down. Let's do some exercises for the back of the legs now. So let's see how you get on with this, Debs. I've got some options for you if you don't like it. So what we're going to do is, do you know, like just now we were kind of deliberately bending our knees and keeping that back in that 45 degrees. Now we're going to deliberately hinge forward and come back up again. So we're deliberately hinging forward. I've got an option for people, and you're hardly bending the knees at all. Let your hands slide down your knees, and that knee stays over the ankle. Deb, if you don't want to do that one, you can do one here. We've got that toe there just to help you support your back. Try the single leg squat, pushing the heel into the floor. There. So if anybody wants to join Deb, they can. Do 10 on each side then, Deb. And I'm going to just say to you, just keep doing that, and then you're not going to worry about using the band. How are we doing? So people doing this. So then if you're happy with that, have your feet on your band, have it close to your feet, and stand up here. People doing a single leg, you could do 10 on the right, 10 on the left. Don't worry about the strap or anything, and just rest it if you need to. Yeah, stomach tight, tight, tight to support that back. Yeah, lovely. 20 of the deadlifts, please. 10 if you're doing that single leg one. It's that hip hinge, it's working back a thigh. Do another 5 each side then, Liz. Grr. There's no finished early, I have to do some more. Hardly bend your knees at all then, please, Mr. Marsh. You're getting picked on today, aren't you? You can't even mutter to Stephen on the side. That's better. That's better. If you feel it in your back, tuck under or rest. So there's no row, guys. It's not a row at all. We are doing rows in a minute. You're ahead of me. There's no rows. It's straightforward deadlift. It's a straightforward leg exercise. I'm liking this, but it's not a row, Liz. That's coming in a minute. You're ahead of me. It's a straightforward bending and back up. Yeah, rest it when you finish. When you finish your 20 or your 10 each side. That's great. So you guys with strong, healthy backs, and your back's absolutely fine, you can do your rows from that position. Otherwise, people with sore backs and so on, you can sit on your chair and have the band around your feet. So Debs, you're just going to pull on your strap. So have it here and then relax it here. So have the tension on that strap to that position here. Otherwise, so we're doing 20 then to match. We're going to do some press ups in a minute. But hey, can't wait, can we? That's it, good. Yeah, that's it, Deb. So hold that tension for a little bit. I think you might want to have that band a little bit shorter, that strap a bit shorter, just so you've got some, that's an upper back strengthening, that one. Use the chair to support your back if you want to, that lower back. Liz, you could have carried on doing those ones now. Now you were ahead of me. What are you doing sat down, missus? Both arms together though. Do both arms together at the same time. Oh, blimey. Picking on everybody today. That's it. And you can hold that tension, Deb, if you wish. Lovely. It's nice seeing people doing a mixture. Make sure these backs are straight if you're doing that. Guess what that's called? Bent over row. How unimaginative is that? Make sure the heads aren't dipping. People doing bent over row. That's it, lovely. Keeping that lovely straight, neutral spine with the back. When you've done your 20, you can rest. You can do your hug beach ball. This wild water swimming seems to be, my frown, this wild water swimming seems to be taking off at the moment. I just see it in Facebook everywhere and people saying, have a cold shower. I couldn't think of anything worse. I know it probably is beneficial, but whew, I can't even bear it when you put the shower on for the first time and you get the cold bit on your feet. Whew, that's enough for me. So we've done a pull. Now we need to do a push. So again, we've got different ways, options of doing that. So you can do your press up against the wall. So people with sore backs, do your press up against the wall. What I like at the moment, I'm trying to encourage people to do deep press ups. You can do 20 of whatever your choice is. You can do your press ups on the sofa. And I quite like that because you can do a full press up and get that full depth. Otherwise, press ups on the floor, try and get that full depth. There, maybe do 10 ordinary ones and 10 on your knees, full depth. Off you go. 20 press ups are lovely. Well, it's not lovely at all, but it's a really important functional exercise. Yeah. Brace the abdominals all the time. Brace the abdominals, protect that back. Alan, I must say those are lovely press ups. Really good. Yes, nice. That's it, good. Well done, Hazel. Can you go any deeper? Bend those arms even more. No. Be grateful for what you've got. Caroline, try doing press ups on the sofa or on the armchair. Try and have your hand on the chair. Try that and try and do the full depth ones if you can. $20 altogether. It's a dynamic. Yeah, lovely. Priscilla, how low can you go? Yeah, good. Yeah, when you finish, you can stretch the chest. That's it, Deb. Have a sit down, have a rest if you need to. Do some pelvic tilts if you need to. That was enough for Alan. Oh. Stretch through the chest when you finished. Yeah. Well done, guys. So we're going to try and do full length, full depth press ups by Christmas. Is that a yes, Lynn? It doesn't have to be this coming Christmas. Yeah, I love it. I like that. It's like a point. So she's got like a mat with different answers, Lynn Joyner quotes, and she's got like a magnet to say which is the answer. I've just sussed that one out. Should we go back to legs again? Say yes, please. So we're going to do a mixture of shoulder raises. So I would suggest, Debs, if you want to, I'm going to do shoulder raises stand. I would suggest with your back, sit on the band. And you're going to do some shoulder raises from here. Have a quick look at the screen. That's a really good exercise for shoulders anyway. Anybody else that's got a sore back, can you do 10 there and 10 there? And I'll come, then you can join us for lunges. Yeah, without the bands. So for everybody else, have your front foot's on the band. Get that out of the way. Bring out the leg back, tucking that tailbone under. Draw the shoulder blades back and down. We're going to come down for your lunges, back legs down towards the floor, as close as you can. Ready, 10. That's 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Inch lower, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold it down. So we're going to join Debs now. So it's 10. Anybody else that's doing Debs? 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Don't let it go through to the neck. 2, 1. Brace the abdominals. Bring it forward. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's change to the side. So Debs, if you want to join us for lunges now, please do. See how your back feels, but it should be fine. So when we do our second set, you can actually change to the leg. You can let go of the, don't need the bands, don't need the strap, Debs, just do the lunges. Tuck that tailbone under, leaning slightly forward so it doesn't come into the back knee goes down towards the floor. Bands do nothing. 10, 9, make sure the knee doesn't come in. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inch lower. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Stay down. So Debs, can you do 10 and 10 on the other leg now for me, please? Everybody else, shoulder raise. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Bring your arms forward. 10, 9, 8. Brace your abdominals. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then lift the arms without it. Well done. And again, hands behind your back. Tilt the head. If you need to do a roll down, if you need to do a pelvic tilt, please do. Turn your head and look from side to side. So the joy of that one, it's legs, it's core, it's shoulders, everything. Circle the shoulders, shake out the hands, shake out the feet. Good. So let's come down on, let's come to a seated position. Let's just have your band ready. I'll just turn off this, try and get some music going. So for this one, we're going to use the bands, use the straps. We're going to have it around our feet. Sitting tall, I'm going to give people options. If people with sore back, we're going to tuck under. So that's that lovely pelvic tilt. If it's not lovely, I can give you another option. So for people with the sore backs, you might prefer to lie down on your back. So this might be a better one for you, just to be super, super careful. Just do lying down pelvic tilt, because at least you're supported and there's no pressure on your discs or spine at all. So that's just like lovely. And you can do some tilts from side to side if you want. So I'll come back for you, don't worry. So for the rest of us, in some respects, if you have had back issues, at least the band is supporting you. We'll see how low you can come and still get back up again. So with the blue TheraBand or the wider ones, double them up for the moment. Have the extra benefit of that doubled up band. I've got both bands. I've got green and purple. Those ones have got the same as me. Very gently, Debs, just moving it, just getting it mobilized. And then try some tilts from side to side and see how that feels. Trying to keep the feet on the floor. I saw that. I won't name and shame for once. Then we can try it with just the one band. If you think, Lynn Joyner, I need my two bands and I'm going to have that, or double thickness, that's absolutely fine. The focus is holding the stomach muscles in. I'm not worried if you get down to the floor or not. The focus is holding the navel in, pelvic floor. And sit tall. So for some of you, you can do that. You don't need the band. So for some of you, you're about to come all the way down. In some respects, it's better on Zoom because you can't really see each other. People do get competitive on this one in the class. If you've had disc issues, I wouldn't do this part of it, the spine stretch here. So you would still be back. You can either have the two band, single band, just that tucking under, or lying down pelvic tilt. Deb, you can try the pelvic clock. Tilt one way to the side, tilt away from you, other side. Almost as if you had like a ball on a triangle and it's going through all the different corners, and then try again. If you're sore, just stay with the one that suits you. Let's just do two more of those, whether you've got two bands, single or none. This is like the one with the weights where it makes it easier for us. Spinal stretch, if your back allows. When you finish that last one, can you stay lying down for me, please? How nice am I being at the moment? You can lie down on your back, have a cushion or towel underneath your head. Place your hands behind your head, bring your elbows forward. Bend your knees, your feet and knees are hip width apart. I'm going to do some pelvic tilts again. Come back to your pubic bone, hip bone are in that horizontal plane. Hands behind your head. So Debs, this should all be fine for you. This bit should be fine for you. But as in what we should all be doing, abdominals in, pelvic floor held up, held tight. Take a breath in, breathe out, making sure we don't bring the head or the neck. Try not to move the neck. All that's happening is the head's lifting because we're bringing our ribs to our hips. Check your navel, check your belly button to make sure you're holding it in. No doming or separation. Work as hard or as little as you wish. Stop at any time, but as always. I've had a couple of people email me this week saying they've been sore in different places, so it's really good for me to get feedback. It's easy to forget. So it's 10, back down, hold it tight. 9, that's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold it high, ready, 10, pulse if you want to, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So hold it there for side bends. See how you feel those Debs. You can have a rest. Don't have to do the side bends. It makes your back sore. Otherwise, with 10, 9. So not just Debs, anybody else with sore back. That's well done. Reaching for the ankles, working the waistband muscles at the same time. That's 5, 4, 3, 2. If anybody's doing a video at home, please do another 10. Other side. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excuse me, rest it there. Place your fingers on your hip bones, bring the fingers just inside, prod deep into the flesh, engage the abdominals, pelvic floor. So this one should be fine for you, Deb. In fact, this bit is really beneficial. Stomach tight, tight, tight. Lift your foot about 1 millimeter from the mat and back down. Feel those deeper muscles switching on. Not even that much. That's too much then, Debs. Tiny, tiny amount. But you should feel those deep. This is what we want to target to support our spines, those deep abdominal muscles. So for some of you, that's fine, and you can stay doing that one. The next one should be fine, Debs. For anybody with sore back, we can bring the legs to tabletop and back. But still keep that tension, still feel those muscles. Check that you're keeping muscles held in tight. Well done. So the next level up, bring the right leg to tabletop. See how you feel with this one, Debs. Go back to the other one if you want to. Tuck the tablet under, stomach tight, tight, tight. So when that second leg comes up, and that could cause discomfort. So tuck under a bit more then, Debs. A bit more. Tuck under a bit more. Stomach tighter, but you decide. So if you want to, just go back to that previous level and just ignore me from now on. So for everybody else, if your back's all right, right leg to tabletop, left leg to tabletop, left leg goes down, and then the right. There should be no movement between your, I've got my thumb on my rib cage, fingers on my hip bone, check. Can you keep that tension there? So there's no arching in your back. If there's arching, it means the stomach muscles aren't strong enough to hold you. So we're going to progress this for those that want to. Stay with the right, left, left, right, those that want to. Otherwise, come with me in that reverse curl. Debs, I would suggest you carry on with that one if that's okay with you. So pelvic tilt. Debs, what else you could do, have a look, is you could do that knee lower to the side. That's another one for sore backs. So the knee can just lower to the side, keep the feet down. Very gentle, that one. That should be fine. Everybody else, let's do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold that there. We can then do upper body as well. So do both at the same time. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold that tension. Heel taps from there. Debs, carry on as you are. That's lovely. That's 9, 8. I'm calling you Debs. I think you put that in an email once. If you hate it, you're going to have to tell me. Say, I hate being called Debs. We can then do opposite shoulder to Debs. Actually, you can join in with this one if you want. Try it. Just keep the feet down. Do the oblique twist there. See how you get on with that. That should be fine. Otherwise, everybody else, opposite shoulder, opposite knee. I would suggest keeping those tabletop legs, actually. I think it works the stomach muscles harder if you keep the tabletop legs. See what you think. I do like single leg stretch. I love it. But I feel that this one keeps you more curled up and works you harder. 2 more each side. And rest it there. Good. Big stretch. Hands as far away from your feet as you can. Enjoy that. We can bring the feet in, shoulder width apart. So let's do our shoulder bridges. And again, people with sore back, you're just going to go as high as you can cope with. So tucking the tailbone under, keep tucked under as much as you can, clench the buttocks and lift. If your shoulders are okay with it, bring your arms overhead and roll down through the spine segmentally, one at a time. So that's for your suppleness of the spine. Tuck under, which is what we need. We need that suppleness as well as the strength. So you're only going to go as high as your back allows. Even if it's only a little height, that's absolutely fine. As time goes on, you can go higher. Roll down through the spine, arms down by your side. Let's just do 2 more. Tuck under, clench the buttocks. Ideally, you want full height. Ideally, you want from knees down through to shoulders. Roll down through. And back to start position. Tuck under, clench buttocks, lift. Arms overhead. Roll down through the spine. So for those of you that want to work harder, so Debs, carry on as you are. We're going to lift the hips. We're going to push the hips up towards the ceiling. You're going to clench your buttocks at least, Debs. So ready, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. I like the way some of you have gone to single leg already. You know what I'm going to do before I'm going to do it. Single leg now, if you haven't already. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Other leg. 10. Make sure you've done the same both sides. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest it there. Bring your knees into chest. Hold the back of your legs. See how you feel with that one, Debs? Yeah. So this is normally a lovely one for back. Circle the knees. Massage that lower back. Support those knees. And then back the other way. Good. So we can either keep that tabletop position there. You can keep holding the back of your legs if you want to. But keep them there, and then hands by the side, go from side to side, or bring the feet back down to the floor and do your hip roll. That's the easier version, less demanding on the back. Glue the feet and knees together. Have the arms to the side. Your feet on the floor. Glue your ankles together, or have the legs in tabletop. Or you can have the legs straight, those of you that want more of a challenge. Mixed ability class, as always. Work at your level. Try not to let the shoulder blades lift. Pull on the ribs, pull on the hips. Just working that diagonal line across the body. So we do a couple of these. Good. Let's come on to our side. Tie up your knees. Debs, you don't need to. You can stay without it. So tie up your knees. People with the blue TheraBand, tie it around twice. The green band is probably enough for people with the ones with the handles. If you've got pink ones, I've got no idea. Have you got the super strong pink one, Liz? Some of them, one might be enough for you then, Liz. So tying up your knees, we're going to lie on our side. Place a cushion between your head and your arm, lifting that lowest rib of the rib cage. Feet are in line with the body and your bottom. Some people still getting tied up. I think we're there. Guys, if any of you get piriformis issues and that sets off any sciatica, have the feet parallel. Otherwise, just lift the top knee. Ready, 10, 9. You can lift the foot as well. If you get any kind of sciatica through piriformis, that deep glute pain, yeah, have the legs parallel. Yeah. Sometimes that can cause a sciatica. It's not necessarily discs. Well done. Top leg, we can lift 10. Keep it high if you want to. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. So you can either do another 10 of those or join me on a side bridge. If your shoulders are sore, carry on with your clams lying down. So we can do our side bridge here. Ready? 10, 9. Another set of clams for people that want to. Feet either together or lift the ankle. That's 5, 4 on your hands if you prefer. 3, 2. Stay high, top leg. People with me, you can. Everybody can pulse it or not. 10. Do what suits you. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Give it a slap. Give it a rub. That's it. Come on to your other side. So we're all going to start off with clam. People doing bridge, you're working side, outer thigh on the underneath and on the top. Lift that lowest rib of your rib cage. Feet in line with your back and your body. So same as on the other side, we can lift the whole leg or just lift the knee. Ready? So it's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And again, that's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Those that did it on the other side, come with me onto side bridge. Otherwise, people doing clam, match what we did on the other side. We're going to lift out of that shoulder. Yeah, make sure you're all aboard. The side bridge bus. Ready? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Stay high, top leg. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well done. Rest it there. Come on to your fronts. We can come into a shell stretch or hazel line on your back and hold your knees. Well done. I'm going to whisk you through these last 2 exercises. Lying on your front, have your hands in the W position. So just glue your knees together, Debs, and roll over. Glue your knees, that's it. Some people, I know Julie likes to towel underneath her hips or cushion just to keep her hips. That makes it easier for her back. Hands in W position, inhale. So this is your upper back extension. So again, Debs, you might want to stay doing this one and not go any higher. So breathing in, breathe out. We come up to full swan dive, but only if your back allows. Deb, I would suggest you stay there. And anybody else? Draw the shoulder blades down your back. Those of you that are happy with that, let's go into darts. Have your hands by your side. Lift the shoulders and lift your arm, head, chest. Lift the legs as well if you wish. Choose your level. Stay at dart. Stay at swan dive. Stay at small back extension if you wish. Otherwise, I've got my hands at W position. My elbows and my wrists are staying level. Stay at the level that suits you. If you want to work that one harder, have the arms straight, maybe out into a Y shape ahead of you if you can manage that one. Opposite arm, opposite leg. And that's a beautiful one, working through the body. Debs, what you can do is rest your forehead on your hand and lift a leg at a time. So you get that glute strengthened as well. See how your back feels. Keep the hip bones in contact with the mat. It shouldn't come into your back. It should be purely glutes. If it doesn't suit you, go back to the small back extension. So anybody else with opposite arm? Some of you that are stronger can lift arms and legs. Those of you that are stronger again can stay high. Do swimming arms, swimming legs. Anybody seen Blackton Lake at the moment? It's really high. I don't know if Chew Valley is. Well, I like that. Eliana's doing breaststroke. Not quite what I asked for, but I like your... It's not wrong. It's just different. You're just treading your own path. Or swimming your own path. Well done. 2 more. Lovely. Lovely seeing people working at the different levels. Really, really good. Let's come to hands and knees then. Again, Hazel, if you want to, you can do your hug your knees lying on your back. Let's do your cat stretch. Lovely for backs. That's it. Carry on doing cat stretches if that helps you. Otherwise, we're coming to hands and knees. I'm going to whisk you up through these levels as well. So we can do opposite arm, opposite leg. Here. So for people with sore backs, that might suit you better. You had your bands on the whole time, Julie. I forgot to say take them off. Oh, so you're not the only one, but I beg your pardon. So you do opposite arm, opposite leg there. Otherwise, we can tuck your toes under to draw the shoulder blades down your back. We can lift the knees a small amount and go into your leg pull. So it's a preparation for plank. That's it. Debs, you're here. If you want to do that one, you can do that one. Yeah. So the rest of us, we can lift the knees. Those of you that want more of a challenge, shoulder taps. See how you get on with that one. Those of you that want more of a challenge again, we can do our bear crawls. We can walk a little bit. Shoulder taps. Walk a little bit. People that are a bit more advanced, want more of a challenge, that's your challenge there. Yeah, it is a bit risky. If you want to go on your elbows, you can, Caroline. Just do your plank on elbows, 3/4. So many choices, so little time. Or full plank there. Another 10 seconds of whatever it is you're doing. Liz has had enough. Hot. Yeah. Lovely, guys. Let's come up onto our knees. Time's gone fast today. Tucking that tailbone under. Hip flexor stretch. You can do yours on, we'll join Hazel for the next one. So either hip flexor stretch here, or if your knees are sore, you can do your hip flexor stretch here. I really don't mind. So it's either this one here. That'll suit you better, I think, Deb. We can then bring that leg into hamstring stretch here. Yeah. Change to the leg. Bring that leg forward. Tucking that tailbone under to hip flexor stretch, reaching up. Or we can join Hazel doing this one. You decide. Hold it. Stay upright, Deb, that's fine. Stay upright, yeah. Into hamstring stretch there. Just realised what she was doing there. So from here, bring that foot forward and we can stand up from there. Stomach tight, yeah. Take a breath in. Breathing out. Shoulders up. Hands behind your back. Another one of those. Done lots of those today. So really, it's like it's almost like a workout, that one, because you've worked biceps, triceps, chest, back, shoulders. Front of thigh, back of thigh, outer thigh, front, back, side. We've done it all, the whole body. Shake out your hands, shake out your feet, stand tall, walk tall. So I have recorded this one. It is good to do some strength work, ideally 1 to 3 times a week. If you can do it 3 times a week, if you can get a hold of a video, catch up classes any time, of course. Yeah, so it's good for us to do our strength work every other day. Otherwise, see you. Have a good, think about your posture through the coming day, weekends, rest of your life. Any questions, give me feedback, let me know. I'm happy to stay on for a couple of minutes of chat. Otherwise, have a good day. Thank you. Hang on, let me turn off the recording. Stop. You're most welcome.
Thank you.